It was devastating for me to watch that video of my husband basically taking his last breath in the back of that police car.
Nicole Lurie says she never met Joliet Sergeant Javier Esqueda, but she considers him a hero for releasing the video to the public. Joliet police and Kendall County authorities, however, consider his actions criminal.
A burdened spirit is usually reluctant to cover up corruption, regardless of what the consequences could be for that particular person. Now, what we could witness is a new wave of boys in blue who are redundant to the inhumane slaughtering of a nation by way of stereotypical propagandas and fictitious news that's been promoted by old media and other media outlets that don't care for the people or not. I guess we'll see. But with that being said, kick that intro for me one time. Believe that.
After placing him on desk duty earlier this summer, they took him into custody this morning. He's charged with 2 counts of official misconduct for allegedly accessing the video from his police computer and distributing it. The charges are felonies. He's been released on $5,000 bond.
We'll be winning this case at the end, and I think this case is going to end with a big, fat federal judgment against the city of Joliet and everybody involved in this case.
You go ahead and arrest this sergeant for doing the right thing, but you don't arrest the bad officers for doing the wrong thing.
Eric Lurie's widow has filed suit against 4 officers involved in the incident. They have not been charged with any crime.
This stinks to high heavens.
Joliet's police chief issued a statement saying that Esqueda's conduct not only violates the law, but also undermines trust and confidence in the department.
What's going on today, folks? It's your boy King KO, back with another video. And we got a few topics on the table for today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, first I'm going to touch on this one. So that was just a terrible, terrible situation all around. You know, if you guys seen any of that video, it was the man by the name of Eric Lurie. And this was his wife. You know, that was his wife, as you guys can see from the news clip. She was looking for answers for, you know, the situation that happened with her husband passing away. If you guys haven't seen the video, I'm posting it on my Instagram and on TikTok. Definitely shoot me a follow on there. You know, that way we can lock in and y'all can see future videos and whatnot, you know, that I can't post on here. But man, how do y'all feel about that police department basically, you know, treating this man like a criminal for actually doing something, you know, that his conscience told him to do, you know, something that shouldn't even be a felony? I think it should be, you know, a right. It should be a right that the law has to follow. You know, all police departments have to follow, you know, to release the footage of whenever they take someone's life, period, all the way around. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't really matter what type of situation it is, and it shouldn't be a certain time frame for y'all to be able to edit the video and then release it. No, as soon as it happens, it should be released. It should be released immediately. No edits, no extra stuff done to it. Just drop the video. That should be law. That should be some guidelines that they have to follow. You know, I don't understand how that's not inserted into, you know, their guidelines when we see so much corruption happening on a daily basis. If you did that, then that gives, you know, those officers, you know, a very short amount of room to be able to pull any corruption, because you would know that you would have to drop that footage. It should be a mandatory thing that anytime they go onto a case, they should have their dash cams on. They should have their police cams on, or their body cam, you know, and every type of camera, you know, that they have on. You know, anytime they do a stop, it should be a camera on them at all times. They should not be allowed to turn their cameras off at no point. At no point. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. What type of system are we really honestly running? You know, what type of government are we really under? But let's go ahead and get to the video though, believe that. So, first off, we got Baton Rouge royalty, especially in the first two people we speaking about. And the first one is, you know, the top dog, the biggest king coming out of Baton Rouge, you know, the true legend, you know, hit for hit, you know, the top dog coming out of BR, and that is Mr. Boosie. And Boosie had an interview with Flavor Flav, as y'all probably know by now, but it was a few key details within that video that I've been wanting to touch on for a while, you know, ever since this interview dropped a couple days ago, that I don't think too many people really picked up on because I haven't seen too many people talking about it. But the first one, I definitely seen a few people talking about, and, you know, that's the reason why we're not going to touch on that but briefly. But first off, man, as y'all can see, man, Boosie just walked in the room. You know, the vibes was all right. You know what I'm saying? They had good chemistry, you know, in this interview from the start. They talked about Boosie's biggest song. And it surprised me, it really shocked me that he said, "Wipe Me Down." I thought he would have said, you know, somewhere around the lines of Zoom. Y'all remember everybody likes Zoom. Or, you know, Set It Off. I feel like Set It Off was probably Boosie's biggest song. Because as we all know, and if you're a real supporter or a fan of Boosie and the Trill fan movement, you know, that was like the biggest movement for anybody coming out of the hood at the time. You know, Wipe Me Down, you would know Wipe Me Down was actually Fox's song. You know, any real supporter would know that. But on the cool, man, that interview kind of started off, you know, with Webby, you know, them speaking about Webby, and Flavor Flav asked him, what's up with you and Webby? To where Boosie goes ahead and responds and said, we just did a show together, yeah, because y'all had beef at one point in time, right? Well, these captions is kind of a little off, you know how they little reader be doing. But then he goes on to say, we see each other, we know, basically there's love there. We brothers, you know, brothers argue, you know, brothers get into it, you know, basically that's what he was saying. And he said, okay, well, we'll be right back together the next day. So he's letting it be known, you know, regardless of what they go through, they always gonna get right back to each other. You know what I'm saying? He said it'll never go to a point, you know, where there's any type of animosity or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they go through, they can always get past. You know what I'm saying? They can always beat whatever. And he said if we get back on tour, you know, which he trying to get this mixtape and, you know, they little album put together and whatnot, you know, they're gonna be selling out. They selling out shows without a doubt. They still the hottest, you know, duo together. They still the hottest little two-man group and two-man team together, you know. And just imagine if they got Fox back on board, you know. Imagine if Fox came back along and was a part of that group again. You know what I'm saying? The Trill Entertainment thing, you know. Of course, Lil Fat, you know, rest in peace. You know, he's no longer here. But just imagine if they got Mouse back on the track with Webby, Boosie, Fox. You know, that's a recipe for success once again. You know, that's a major, you know, reunion tour. That could be bigger than the Hot Boys. You know what I'm saying? Reunion tour that Birdman did a few years ago. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Their movement, I think Boosie and Webby's movement was probably the biggest movement to come out of BR, especially for the streets. Like, it ain't no youngin', you know, under the age of, you know, 35 that's really not, that wasn't rocking with Boosie at that time. If you're 20, I would say about 24 years old to 35, you were a Boosie fan, and there's no way you wasn't. That's gonna be a huge thing. But in the next part of the interview, Boosie goes on to drop a little goose egg where he says, well, Flavor Flav says, yeah, they was kind of babbling back and forth, so that's why this kind of sound like gibberish. But he said, you got little dudes. Check this out. Dudes, basically he was saying, like, you know, speaking and referring to little dudes. To me, man, I kind of caught, you know, when Lil Yoshi, you know, was speaking to him about the situation, you know, that happened with Ivy Smith back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I caught from it. And y'all see why in this next little clip that I'm finna show. He says, I got friends and got into it with their uncles, you know. Basically, he's saying, like, I know dudes that, you know, I used to look at like, you know, family, like friends, you know, like peoples. And, you know, I got into it with their uncles back in the day, you know, and now, you know, they tripping on me too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really got to go look at this interview because the captions don't really do it justice. But he was speaking on, you know, to me, I took it as him speaking on Lil Yoshi. Then he says, I got into 3 generations of stepping, man. As to Flavor Flav responds, right. So who do y'all think he's talking about, man? You know, y'all don't remember the whole situation that happened back then? You know, and just the whole big, uproar about Boosie being involved in multiple different generations of, beefing with dudes, and going through, things within the streets. And we know that to be facts, you know what I'm saying? As Boosie stated in this interview, he been rapping since 98. So he been trying to come up since 98. He didn't really get his splash onto the scene till about 04, 05, and that was the Zoom. And then they capitalized once again with Wipe Me Down, and then he did it again, with that Set It Off, and came and double back with Super Bad, all the features on Webby's Savage Life albums, and just really setting the world on fire, just his personality wise, being a real street dude, conducting himself totally different than any other rapper in the game at the time, what I'm saying, and showing us what real really was, his music was authentic. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next. And the next artist I want to speak about is another king in Baton Rouge, another top dog, another true legend, that's definitely up there, and that is Kevin Gates. And Kevin Gates, in his interview, first thing that he let us in, and insight that he let Mike Tyson in on, because you're talking to the great Mike Tyson, so of course you're going to release a lot of information you normally wouldn't release in the interview. But the first thing he touched on was the fact that, he was actually, touched as a child. He didn't say by who or anything like that, but that was just, an interesting thing. I wouldn't say interesting. I don't want to use those type of words when we're talking about that, but that was definitely a crazy thing, man, that I wanted to speak on for a slight second, before we go into this next topic. And in this next topic, he went towards the end of the interview, he mentioned the fact that, he was looking up to someone he used to be friends with. Someone he used to be cool with that was at the top, the top of the rap game, that was elite on YouTube, on all the charts, and he really wanted to get up there. You know what I'm saying? He really wanted to be a part of that. And in my opinion, I could tell that he was speaking about either NBA Youngboy or Boosie. But the thing that was conflicting for me as far as speaking about NBA Youngboy is Kevin Gates was in the game, before NBA Youngboy. So it's like, how could you really be referring to YB when YB looked up to you to come into the game? You know what I'm saying? The only one he could be really looking up to that, he considered a friend at one point in time, because as we all know, they had music with each other back in the day, and Kevin Gates really blatantly stated and came out and said that he looked up to Boosie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm leaning more towards the Boosie side and thinking that he was talking about Boosie. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, because he said he looked up to him and he wanted to get to that number one spot. And we all know Boosie was the king of Louisiana and the king of the streets for years. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next points in the video. That's kind of what I want to touch on y'all about, you know what I'm saying, as far as those situations and the goose eggs that these two legends dropped within their interviews. And they was both some really good interviews, so I definitely recommend y'all go check them out. They ain't the newest of interviews, but, I ain't seen too many people touching on them, so I know a lot of people ain't really seen them. So y'all definitely go check those interviews out. The first one is the first one is Flavor Flav, that's his reality show, his interview show. Y'all go check it out on his channel. Just type in Flavor Flav. And then the next one is Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know that that whole little channel and whatnot. So y'all definitely go check out those interviews. Let's go ahead and move on.
Like I said, I wrote that months ago, had that on my phone. When I wrote that, Blood was still alive, so it ain't got nothing to do with him. But I get it. So I'm gonna rectify the. Like I said, I'm gonna get with Blood family and help bury Blood, and after that, I'm gonna be done with it again. All the little homies out there, man, no disrespect. The big homies, no disrespect. Nobody in the whole Blood card. And no gangsters, no LA gangsters, period. I know how this go, and I ain't disrespecting nobody out here. No Crips, no Bloods, no SAs, not even no unaffiliated, hard working out here, man. It's LA, and I know what to do. All right, one.
Yeah, Spider Loc was right there. We was at the Mozzie event. Come on, cuz you ain't no real solid that you got your artists apologizing for some that he said before then. I would have never apologized if that's what it really was, cuz. Talking about how Nipsey was loved out here. Disrespected, he had love for, cuz. Let me tell you something.
Let's stop putting a motherfucker shouldn't be there. The individual that lost his life You know what I'm saying? Made a homie BIP. He ain't even the one that's guilty of even violating Nipsey Hussle. Let's be real. We all know who's who and what's what. That man ain't the one that's been guilty of violating Nipsey's murals and so on and so forth. So the one that was killed ain't even that. So let's stop twisting into something that it ain't gonna be, man. Rest in peace to the homeboy. Shout out to all my dogs, across the Inglewood boy, my Rocky, somebody.
War, no matter how much money you got, no matter where you at, you can't disrespect the streets, period. You can't disrespect these streets, man. You out here that's willing to die for whatever they represent.
I want to say this to all the LA. I want to say this to all the LA. I want to say this to all the Compton. I want to say this to all the gangbangers from LA across the across the board, bro. Y'all hear me when I say this, bro? Look, check this out. We are not Chicago, bro. You feel what I'm saying? We are not Chicago, bro. All that, I'm smoking the this pack. I'm smoking the that pack. It's gay and that whack as my. So all that kicking over candles, my. All that disrespecting dead, that whack, bro. You not Chicago, bro. We LA, bro. We don't rock like that, bro. Straight all that. I'm smoking a wooty woo pack. I'm smoking a that pack. That's some coward. That's some bro. Stop doing that, bro. Like I wasn't even gonna say nothing about this old bro. That this weird going on.
They walk out Nipsey funeral. Allegedly, Indian Red Boy was the one that was behind the camera shooting it, that, even though it had nothing to do with the 60s. And for the lame-o who said that that's what I said, go find a video with me saying that, please. I will donate $100 to your Cash App. I'll do that for you. You had Cuz Snoopy Bad from Hollywood, even though he say he ain't Hollywood no more. But, I mean, come on, Cuz, to the rest of the world, you Hollywood, who literally said, that ain't no LA, that ain't no South Central, that ain't no Watch, that ain't no Inglewood. Talk about you smoking op packs and everything like that, but listen, just while I take your side. Can't nobody tell y'all how to rock.
You trying to do extra attention. I understand y'all from different gangs, you and Nip, and I understand that they your enemy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, you got to look at the situation. You see how that happened right when you was on live and you couldn't even get there to even do anything? All you asked was where you at? And he's trying to tell you where he at and you just leave your phone, you know, you dropped your phone or whatever you did. You got to think wiser, young brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to think wiser. You got to move a little different.
All you internet trolls that's on here, you know what I'm saying? You know, the mother saying, oh, yeah, let them kill themselves, or the blacks ain't gonna never come together, the Christian Bloods ain't gonna come together. Y'all keep that negative ourselves, bro. We tired of hearing that negative. You know what I'm saying? We tired of hearing that negative, man, for real, for real. We gonna come together and we gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? All the blacks, we gonna come together. Crips, Bloods, Hoovers, everybody, we gonna get it together. All you just saying, oh, y'all ain't gonna get it together, let them kill each other. Y'all worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? We don't need you just polluting. Y'all part of the problem. Cause y'all polluting the whole for real.
For real, for real. I definitely agree with the OG on that tip. You know, for all of the ones who were not supporting the unity, you definitely need to rid yourself. You definitely have no place even breathing this, you know, good God-given oxygen at all. The division has been going on for far too long, and it's time that, you know, people start opening their eyes and realizing the same program that's being recycled over and over and over. Nothing is new under the sun, as scripture well informed us, you know, well informed us. That's just the way our Creator operates, to keep us away from the darkness. Now the situation is going on in LA with the mural of Nipsey Hussle being spray painted over and vandalized, and just downright the disregard that they have for this man's life, you know, that was just flat out disrespectful and uncalled for. It was something that was embarrassing to see. It was something that, you know, I took a lot of shame for, you know, simply because I know it was done by my people. And I know that this was done for a few views on social media. And there's no way that you can say it's not. The way that, you know, the guys lived on YouTube and whatnot. And at the end of the day, there was another life lost. Another life lost. And people can say, you know, it was due to, you know, him messing with a girl who got his homie, you know, involved to set him up in some type of way, you know, allegedly, and all of these stories that's coming out, you know, and all these conflicting things that keep on dropping and whatnot. But in reality, you know, regardless of who did it, you know, the spirit of death was on him. Let's be honest. The spirit of death was already following him at that point. It's like y'all don't understand that the spiritual realm is that real. You know, once you put that tag on your back, what do you think is going to happen? You speak down on the deceased, then you put yourself in that position. That's just how it works. That's the world. That's the way it operates. It's a Fibonacci sequence. You know, it's the circle of life, complete circle. I know they always told you that everything you do double backs around, it comes back to you. That was not made up. It is the circle of life, the way that things operate. Now, LA, you know, this is me speaking to y'all, you know, as a brother. And y'all got to understand, you know, the division tactics that are being used here. You know, you got to understand the people and powers that be seeing the unity within LA that was being created, you know, through Nipsey Hussle and still carried on after his passing. Everybody in the world seeing the tying of rags and y'all walking, you know, brothers hand by hand with each other's back. That's the thing that we seen. Multiple times have we seen, you know, even throughout, you know, the camera age and video recording and, you know, all these different things. We seen, you know, the unity try to come together and, you know, some hidden, you know, things that then occurred, tear those things apart. We got it. We can't fall for the same programs. We can't fall for the same, you know, videotapes. We can't fall for CDs no more. We can't fall for MP3 players no more. We ain't in those times no more. We in the times of, you know, streaming, downloading, and plugging your auxiliary cord in or connecting your Bluetooth. You know, the aux is really becoming miscellaneous. You know, that's really coming obsolete. Honestly, we are in a time of Bluetooth. We in a time of, you know, things just advancing so quickly. You know, the videotape is obsolete, been that way. You know, we can't go back to cassettes or anything like that, man. We in a new day and age, man. We gotta identify when somebody is trying to bamboozle us, and that's what this is. This is another trick to bamboozle, and all they gotta utilize is somebody with the same skin color as you to make you completely forget what you've seen in the past and replicate them same actions. They already documented you to the T, so they know what you're prone to do. They cannot move you with a person who does not reflect your reflection. So you gotta understand, for us to do better, we gotta know better. And how many times I'm gonna tell y'all, if you knew better, you do better. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all a bunch of real stand-up guys, man. Y'all warriors. Y'all built that way. It's in your DNA because you're a reflection of your creator. You made in his likeness. And his wrath is the wrath of all. So understand this, my brothers. Y'all gotta honestly look past the negativity. That's the only way to grow. And growth is the only constant in life. None of the other stuff matters. None of it. Not the streets, not the set, not the hood, not the block. The only thing that matters is your spirit, your soul, you know, giving everything you got to the Most High and the Creator, and being a man first. Being a man. As long as you stand on your square and you tolerate no disrespect from those who are coming to completely destroy and demoralize you, then there's nothing else that you should feel pressed about, or nothing that should stroke your pride at all. And that's just, you know, some blessings, kings, for real. But yeah, man, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the video, and, you know, lock in to that giveaway I'm giving away. You know, if you haven't heard about it, you know what I'm saying? I got 20 Walmart gift cards. You know, I'm giving them all away, ranging from $40 to $100 to $200. All you got to do is, you know what I'm saying, make sure you subscribe and you ring that bell icon on here, you know, that post notification bar. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they turn to all, you know what I'm saying, so you can get all the future content. And then go add me and follow me on Instagram. And then just DM me and let me know you did all that. And then you'll be entered. But yeah, with that being said, I'm out. Believe it.